my queen, my queen. Oh, she, oh, she. Beautiful, wonderfully made. She's heaven's angel, so strong, even in struggle, yeah. When life comes like a storm from every angle, she rises above it all, the backbone of every home. Nothing compares to all she do. The true meaning of every family. She's the glue. Yeah. Where would we be without you? You brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, yeah, and Jesus too. Oh, she's sophisticated, strong, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful, educated, ebony, eccentric, empowering. She's a queen, she's a queen. You better treat her like a queen. Oh, oh, Her strength is amazing. Life inside, 9 months she's carrying back to work, 'cause the family she's carrying. Society don't give her just due, but she prevails and stands tall, a champion, a true woman. But nothing compares to all she do, yeah, the true meaning of every family. She's the glue, yeah, oh. And where would we be without you? Yeah, you brought us Martin, Malcolm, and Obama, and Jesus too. Oh, she's sophisticated, strong, yeah, simply amazing, humble, honest, and helpful. Not only that you are educated, yes you are, eccentric, empowering. You're my, she's a queen. You're my, you're my. Hello and welcome to Let's Talk with Bishop R.C. Blakes. R.C. is an author, empowerment teacher, and the proud pastor of the New Home Ministries of New Orleans, Louisiana, and Houston, Texas. His message circles the globe. His conversational and candid approach to challenging content makes him a relevant voice to all generations. Get ready for a life-changing transformational conversation.
Hello, hello, hello. This is RC Blakes, and what a thrill it is for me to be able to share with you today. I am so excited about this conversation today. I need you to really invite everybody you can think of to come in to this conversation. This is going to really shift your consciousness as a queen. Today we're talking about how queen conscious women value high energy men. And when I say high energy, I'm not talking about, bouncing off the walls like you drinking energy drinks 24/7. I'll get deeper into that, but I'm talking about the spirit of the man, what is emanating from the man internally, his energy. How does this man impact the room when he walks into the room? The spirit of this man and how it impresses upon your life, how his spirit impacts your life, his energy. Because today we're struggling with this battle between the sexes, and you have men and women that are really distorted and twisted in terms of how you're approaching relationships. We have women who say they don't want a man that does not make X amount of dollars. So if she makes $1 million a year, she considers it settling if a man makes $100,000 a year, or if he makes $75,000 a year. She couldn't see herself with a man that makes that much less than her. And so, the message in that is a man that's earning $75,000 today is not worthy of her. He's not of enough value for her to consider. Then you flip the coin. You have men who say, well, a woman has to be a certain size, a certain weight, a certain complexion and all of this a certain shape and all of these kinds of things. And if she's not these things, she's not high value. These are some of the most childish and ridiculous metrics for or standards for trying to choose a life partner that I've ever seen before in my life. Because here's the reality: the guy that's earning $75,000 a day could very well be earning $1 million in 5 years. The woman that's a size 2 today could very well be a 20 in 5 years. So you're talking about stuff that's ever changing, stuff that's in the grand scheme of things is really not that important. Because if a guy is a great guy and he has character and he has self-respect and he takes care of himself, he very well can grow into being whatever kind of earner. I mean, when Lisa and I first got married, she made more money than me, right? And so I find these things ridiculous. And and I'm not here to argue. I mean, stick with your story. That's what you want to do. You just gonna choose a man based on how much money he makes. Do you? I'll be here later when you need to talk about it, because you will need to talk about it. Queen conscious women value high energy men. Now, I'm never saying to a woman, don't pay attention to the money. Don't be concerned about the money. I'm the first one to teach that. I wrote that in the father-daughter talk, that a woman should always be concerned about the earning potential of a man. I think a man's approach to earning is a true indication of his masculinity, because masculine men strive to provide and protect for their own. The Bible even says that. He that doesn't provide for his own is worth worse than an unbeliever. But you can't write a man off because maybe he's not maximized yet. And my point is, if a man is a high earner, there are still some things that are more important than just his money, his energy being one of those things. A queen conscious woman always looks beyond a man's bank account. She looks beyond his vertical stature, how tall he is. She looks beyond his abdominal construction, if he has a six pack or, a beer keg, whatever they call it. You know what I'm talking about. Because those things are what? Ever changing and are not really as important, not really important at all in the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of things, high earners are often low frequency men operating in pride. There are some of you, that's all you date are high earning men, and they consistently break you. They consistently cheat on you because that's all you've looked for. It's not that there aren't men that earn who have high energy, and I'll get into the specifics of what I mean about that in a minute. But it's because all you're looking for are men with money. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is. Your life unfolds based on the level or the direction of your consciousness. And Jesus says in Luke 12:15, for a man's life can never be measured by the amount of things he possesses. You can't measure the value of a man or the stature of a man because of his bank account. And a queen conscious woman is always concerned about a man's spirit / his energy. Queen conscious women are certainly concerned. I have to keep saying this because some of y'all get triggered about the money part. Queen conscious women are certainly concerned about a man's earning power and desire to earn, but never deduce that a man is valuable because he is financed. Because a man that is most valuable in the life of a woman is a man of high energy, and he's a man that is healthy enough to value her. I'll read that again. The man that is most valuable is the man that is healthy enough to value you. There are many men that can afford you who do not have the character to value you. The man that can value the woman is a man of high energy. Not as in high energy as in vitality, but a man of high character, a man of a high disposition. Now, as a Christian, sometimes we're afraid of language like energy, and I understand it because you have all kinds of different spiritual beliefs that use certain language that don't subscribe to Christ, right? And though I'm not proselytizing, I am unapologetically Christian. And so I understand that there are some of you who, may get a little concerned when you start hearing terms like energy, because you hear people use these terms that don't subscribe to Christ. But if you look in the Greek term energia, energeia, is translated energy. It is used in the Greek New Testament to refer to the activity or working of the Holy Spirit. Now, in some translations of the Bible, the word is rendered as working or power, while in others it is translated as energy or operation. In Philippians chapter 2, verse 13, it says, "For it is God who works energia in you, both to will and to work for his good pleasure." So now in this context, the word is used to describe the divine energy or power at work within believers to enable us to live according to God's will. It's our energy. So people are attracted to my platform who many times are atheists. We have atheists that show up on a regular basis because they say, "I don't believe in God, but I love RC. And I know RC is a pastor and a preacher, but I love RC," not realizing that they are attracted to my energy, which emanates from who? God, the Holy Spirit. So I don't want you to get afraid, just understand it in our Christian context if you are a believer. Every person is operating with a certain energy, and that energy has a source. That energy has an effect, and that energy makes an ultimate impact on that person's environment. The scale of, and get something to write with if you haven't already, the scale of energy discernment from low or from negative to high or positive. See, we're operating either with low energy or high energy, divine energy or something other than divine. But the scale from, low or negative to high or positive is generally bookended by fear on the lowest end and, a love or, awareness of God on the highest end, and everything in between. And I'm going to give you some breakdown. If you go to 2 Timothy 1 and 7, it says, what did I say? On the lowest end, the bookends are generally, and this, differs from opinion to opinion, person to person. Fear on the lowest end to things like love, on the highest end. So a person can come in, if a person comes in with energy that is rooted in fear, you can already figure out what that's producing, what that feels like. If a person comes in operating out of love that comes from God, an awareness of God, you can already imagine what that looks like and what that feels like. 2 Timothy 1 and 7 says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." God has not given us fear, but he's given us what? Power, love, and a sound mind. Now, here's a list that I pulled from some mental health professional, and here's their list. And I went to different ones, and different ones have different, but they all pretty much have the same stuff in it. They may be arranged differently. But from lowest to high, and you start talking about queen conscious women value high energy men. Here's from 1 to 17, from low energy to highest. This list starts off with shame, guilt, apathy, grief. Then it gets to fear at number 5, desire at number 6, number 7, anger, pride at number 8. 9 is courage. Now we're going from lowest to highest. 10 is neutrality. This is where you're in the middle. You're trying to figure out which way to go here. Number 11 is willingness. Number 12 is acceptance. Number 13 is reason. Number 14 is love. 15 is joy. 16 is peace. And 17 is enlightenment. Enlightenment is when you are aware of the Creator, you are aware of his purpose for your life, and he's made you aware of you. You love God with all your heart. God has given you a love for yourself. And out of that love for God and for yourself, you're now able to love the world. Well, queen conscious women value men that are enlightened in that respect. And the emotional frequency chart is a model that categorizes, and that's what I just read for you, emotions into levels of contraction and expansion. When you look at the lower end that I read, shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, and all these things are what? Contracting. They are diminishing and limiting, squeezing, binding you. When you get over into acceptance and reason and love and joy and peace and enlightenment, those things are what? Opening and expanding you. Well, queen conscious women are attracted to men that are opening and expanding, not contracting. Because the health of the queen conscious woman's spirit cannot tolerate anything that is constricting or contracting. Now, I did list some specifics about each of these, but I won't go into this. I won't go into this. Rather, I will mail this out to Lisa and I will mail this out to our mailing list where I'm giving context to each one of those things I listed from number 1 all the way to 17. Shame, for instance, is a contraction emotion that leads to feelings of unworthiness, guilt, and self-blame. Well, I have text like that for each one of those, but it's going to take too much time. So I'll mail that to you. If you're not on the mailing list, go to rcblakes.com and get on the mailing list, and we'll mail this out tomorrow sometime if you're watching this live. If you're watching this at a later date, I don't know if we're going to be able to get it to you. Now, a queen conscious woman prioritizes a man's energy above all else. It's how he makes her feel, and it's how he feels about himself. Because when a man is at a high level, he has a positive effect in several ways. High energy men radiate positive energy, which translates into he inspires her. And I like what Proverbs 17:22 says, cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. When you're around a man that has a good spirit and has good energy, it's like medicine to your soul. But when you're around a man that has bad energy, it dries the bones. One is constricting you, contracting, while the other is expanding you. Or when a man has high energy, when his frequency is positive, his approach challenges you to grow. High energy men always challenge their women to grow. You also see the manifestation of a man of high energy in terms of his behavior. High vibrational people tend to engage in behavior that is aligned with their values and purpose. That's why they have high energy. They're aligned from their spirit to their mind to their body or their behavior. See, you can't have high energy if your spirit is in one place, your soul is in another, and your body or your actions are on another. There's too much, inconsistency. When a person is aligned, the power of God can flow through them from their core, their spirit, through their mind, their thoughts, all the way through to his behavior. You have to pay more attention to a man's behavior than you do his bank account or how many cars he has. High energy men also are beneficial because high vibrational people tend to communicate in clear, sincere, and respectful ways. This man will listen actively and respond with empathy, which can create a sense of connection and understanding. You're trying to get a man to have empathy who is a low energy guy, who's you know who is really not come to that place of expansion. He's contracting and constricting within himself, and therefore he can only impose that upon the woman he's involved with. But when you get a man that has high energy, he communicates well. And then number five, a man with high energy has great leadership qualities. High vibrational people may naturally become leaders in their communities or organizations. They may inspire others to follow their example and create positive change in the world. High energy people are very attractive because they are natural leaders. They're natural leaders because they have nothing to prove. They are not driven by pride. They're driven by love. They're driven by peace and joy, and they're enlightened. They understand their assignment in the earth. They understand their assignment in your life. Now, the energy of the kinds of men you choose as a woman is an indication of your level. You keep telling me about what he drive and where he live and how much money he got, but he's a low vibrational dude. I could look at the picture on Instagram and tell this dude has low energy. This dude is a complete mess. And he needs all of this stuff because he doesn't really feel good about himself. And because he doesn't feel good about himself, when a man doesn't feel good about himself, his first assignment is to make you feel bad about you. I paused right there on purpose. I'll say it again. When a man doesn't feel good about himself, his first assignment is to make you feel bad about you. Now, the tricky thing about energy is you must intentionally look beyond the surface to discern it. Because sometimes the broken parts of you, oh, I got to slow down on this one. Let me read it again. The tricky thing about energy and discerning the energy of a man is that you must intentionally look beyond the surface to discern energy. Because sometimes the broken parts of you are sexually attracted to the brokenness in another low frequency man. Shame, fear, guilt, those things that we read about, manifestations of low energy, are always attracted to low men because those emotions won't let you believe you deserve better. So sometimes you're attracted to the men you're attracted to, not really so much that you're just attracted to them or they're that attractive. It's that you've not really made the adjustment within your own heart. You're functioning at low level energy, which only allows you to attract on your level. So you have to many times step back and look beneath the surface and look back and say, now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys I've had, and all of them have had these negative things in common. Why is that? You got to stop looking at them and you have to look introspectively at you, because there's something broken in you that's constantly attracted to. Now, any man that's not on a high frequency is emotionally unavailable to you because he's not present to himself. Now, what's the tendency in broken women? The tendency in broken women is to think you can take a broken man and you can fix him. You can't fix a man. I'm sorry. You cannot personally fix a man. Now, if a man is on a healing journey, you can aid his healing, but you can't take a man and fix a man. But the tendency in broken women who are functioning on low frequency levels is to feel like I can take this man and fix him. And the reality is, the subconscious reality is, you don't believe you deserve a man that's at a higher level because you've not attained to those levels yet. But any man that's not on a high frequency is emotionally unavailable to you because he's not present to himself. People make you feel their vibration. In other words, if he's full of fear, if he's full of guilt, if he's full of shame, and all of these other things that we listed, and other things that could be added, he's going to make you feel that. So it doesn't matter what the package looks like. Doesn't matter that he drives up in a Ferrari or lives in a 20,000 square foot house or makes $5 million a year. If when you get around this guy, you feel bad about yourself, energy doesn't lie. People make you feel their frequency. You may not be able to explain it. You may not have no video evidence of it. But when you get around a person, the way they make you feel is the truth. And you better honor that. A high vibrational man or high frequency man will instigate high frequency in his own woman because it's the man. See, Eve came out of Adam. This is why I always hold men responsible. It's because everything starts with us. God created the man, then out of the man, God brought forth the woman. So the quality of the man who's supposed to be the leader, who's supposed to be the natural leader of the family and so forth and so on, the frequency of the man can automatically elevate the frequency of the woman. The frequency of masculine energy can automatically elevate feminine energy. Now, you can't reverse that. Feminine can't bring masculine up, but masculine can bring feminine up. Okay, I'm gonna leave that alone because I can feel I'm getting in trouble there. 3 impacts. Let me get to the heart of this, and then I'm out of here. I'm gonna let y'all go. All of that was introduction. 3 impacts of a high energy man. 3 things that will happen in your life when you get a high energy man in your life. Let me go back and read that list for you again. First, we said from low energy to highest looks like this, or possibly like this. Things you can add to this or shift around in this, but this is just something for you to go off of. Shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, pride, courage, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, joy, peace, enlightenment. When a woman gets a man that's on the other side of, that moves into courage, that's an expansion emotion, neutrality, even being neutral, being in a place where you've shifted from low and now you're in neutral, that's even, in my opinion, an expansion position. Willingness is expansion. Acceptance is expansion. Reason is all of these are positive. Love, joy, peace, enlightenment. When a woman gets this kind of man, this is what begins to happen. 3 impacts of a high energy man. His energy is affirming. A high energy man, his image, or his energy rather, is affirming. Most women live their entire lives with a question mark in certain areas of their lives. Am I good enough? Am I cute enough? Am I worthy? Am I valuable? The world intentionally refuses to affirm the woman. Most women have never heard an affirming word from any man, sometimes not even their own fathers. And when you get around a man that is emotionally healthy and is operating at a high frequency, his energy is affirming. Now, what does it mean to affirm? To affirm someone means to express or communicate your appreciation, approval, or support for them. It involves acknowledging their positive qualities, actions, or efforts, and letting them know that you value and respect them. When you get around a man that is emotionally healthy and operating at a high frequency, he will respect you, he will value you, he will acknowledge you, your positive contributions. He will affirm you. Now, a broken man can't affirm a woman because broken masculinity feeds on innocent femininity. And there are many of you who are running behind broken men that have big wallets, and you're wondering why you keep coming up with, you know, Gucci dresses and Louis bags and all of this kind of stuff, and emotionally bankrupt. It's because a broken man, is because he can afford you, does not mean he can value you. A broken man can't affirm a woman because broken masculinity feeds on innocent femininity. Everything you ever believed about yourself and other men made you doubt. Things you believed about you, but other men made you doubt. You know, you thought you could do this, but your daddy may have said something that made you doubt. Your first boyfriend said something. Your ex-husband said something. Everything you believed about yourself, and for some reason the world made you doubt, this man will affirm and confirm. He will say things to make you realize you were never crazy, that this was always you, and that the world around you intentionally tried to steer you away from your actual value. Because men that are operating at a high level emotionally, men that are high energy men, always leave women feeling affirmed. If you go to Genesis, the first time we see this happening, in Genesis chapter 2, verses 22 through 25, we see this happening with the first guy, Adam, who was a whole and healthy man. And he meets Eve, his wife, for the very first time. And listen to what happens. It says, "And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman and brought her unto the man. And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed." What was Adam saying when he said, "Oh, bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh"? He was calling Eve his equivalent. First time he ever met her. And the first thing he says to her, "Oh, I see who you are. I, I acknowledge who you are. I recognize the gift you are. You are bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. You are woman. You are man with a womb. You're my equivalent, but you have the capacity to give birth." He was what? Affirming her. A healthy man will affirm you when you're at your lowest. I pause right there because I need you to think about that. A healthy man affirms you when you're at your lowest. An unhealthy man that's operating with low energy will beat you down when you're at your lowest. But a healthy man, when you're at your lowest, he will affirm you, he will build you up. In John chapter 8, we have here where they bring a woman that was caught in adultery. She's at her lowest point. They bring her to Jesus and they want to get Jesus to condemn the woman, but healthy masculinity always lifts a woman when she's at her lowest. Broken masculinity always, pushes a woman down, diminishes a woman even further. But listen to how it reads in John chapter 8, verses 7 through 11. So when they continued asking him, he lifted up himself and said unto them, "He that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone at her." They're trying to condemn this woman, these men. Jesus says, "Any of y'all without sin, you cast the stone first." And again he stooped down and wrote on the ground. And they which heard it, being convicted by their own conscience, went out one by one, beginning at the eldest, even unto the least. And Jesus was left alone, and the woman standing in the midst. When Jesus had lifted up himself and saw none but the woman, he said unto her, "Woman, where are those thine accusers? Hath no man condemned thee?" She said, "No man, Lord." And Jesus said unto her, "Neither do I condemn thee. Go and sin no more." Jesus affirmed her by defending her, making her know you're worthy of being defended. He accepted her just as she was, and he affirmed her value. And he also affirmed her by encouraging her, says, "Go and sin no more." Now, don't do that no more. You're better than that. Jesus shifted her from a constricting shame to an expansive love by introducing high energy. She was dealing with low vibrational men, but Jesus came in vibrating on a higher level, which trumped the low vibrational men and consequently rescued her from her low state. Because men that operate in high energy will always be affirming. Number two, only have 3 points. When a queen conscious woman finds a high energy man, not only is his energy affirmative, but his energy is transformative. His energy is transformative. When a man lives in the highest of frequencies, he pulls a woman up to his energy. A feminine soul cannot resist healthy masculine energy, because the right man transforms a woman. This is why I always say, everybody's trying to debate. Men say, well, you got to tell these women they got to submit. No, 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 no. Submission is not to be forced. If submission does not happen naturally, it means that as a man, I'm not vibrating where I should. Because when I'm functioning on the frequency that I'm supposed to function on, healthy masculinity is irresistible to healthy femininity. Now, let's see something here. If you go to Ephesians chapter 5, verses 25 through 27, his energy, number two, his energy is transformative. It reads like this: Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church, gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself, glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. Because a man that is functioning at the highest frequency automatically transforms a woman into a better or the best version of herself. He always makes her life better. And notice here in Ephesians 5, it's talking about husbands loving your wives like Christ loved the church, that he might sanctify it, set it apart, cleanse it with the washing of water, that he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing. Meaning, a man that is functioning at the highest level transforms his woman into the best version of herself. If a woman can't see where her life is improving because of a man being in it, why is he in it? Why call a person leader that is not bringing me somewhere, or call a person leader that's bringing me backwards? When a man is functioning at the highest level, he transforms his woman's life. He makes his woman's life better, and she and the world around her can see it. You know, people see how my wife honors and takes care of me, but my wife is the first to tell you that her life improves consistently because of me being in her life. And that goes both ways. Because of my wife being in my life improves consistently. No man should have a woman that does not make his life better. No woman should have a man that does not make her life better. But women often get stuck. You're trying to choose a man based on what he has, what he owns, how much money he makes, and his energy is low. And so your life is not improved because of your connection to this man. Women often get stuck in the negative energy. Listen to this statement very carefully. Women often get stuck in the negative energy of a past relationship and can't break free mentally. A healthy man can step into your life, disrupt the connection that you've had to the past by giving you a new experience. And so sometimes you're afraid of a guy that comes in with healthy energy. You don't trust him, but his assignment in your life many times is to disrupt the stronghold that's in your mind from your previous experiences by giving you a whole new experience. You ain't never been loved like this before. Now, Jesus met a woman, one of my favorite texts, who had been broken by multiple men. He transforms her life by showing her an example of a healthy man. Because when a man is operating at the highest frequency, he transforms a woman. In John chapter 4, verses 27 to 30, it reads like this: And upon this came his disciples and marveled that he talked with the woman. Yet no man said, What seekest thou? Or why talkest thou with her? The woman then left her water pot, read the whole story in your leisure, and went her way into the city and said to the men, Come see a man which told me all things that ever I did. Is not this the Christ? Then they went out of the city and came unto him. When Jesus got through with this woman, he shifted her from shame to enlightenment. She had been shame about all of the men she had and the man she was with now. But when Jesus got through with her, she realized, she said, Is not this man the Christ? She realized that she had had an encounter with God that gave her a self perspective, an ability to love herself, an ability to walk in courage and boldness to the point that she went and told other men, y'all come see a real man. Because when a woman encounters a man that's functioning at the highest levels, his gentle masculinity will transform her pain into power. His gentle masculinity, his calm spirit, his high energy will transform her suspicion into trust. Never dream you'd be able to trust a man until you get the right kind of man that has high energy. You have a distrust for men because you kept choosing low energy guys that couldn't even trust themselves. Letter C, he will transform the woman's insecurities into confidence and her anxieties into tranquility. Because a healthy masculine man allows the emotional temperature to reside at a level where natural femininity flourishes. And then number three, and I'm done. Number three, and I'm done. Queen conscious women always always value high energy men. I think I got a mosquito in here. It's biting on me. Number three, his energy is expansive. So we said number one, his energy is affirmative. When you get a man that has high is functioning at a high frequency in terms of his energy, enlightenment, love, peace, joy, and all of that kind of thing, courage and all of that. His energy will be affirmative. Number two, his energy will be transformative. Number three, his energy will be expansive. Now, expansive refers to something that is extensive, wide-ranging, or covering a large area or scope. It can also refer to something that is characterized by growth or expansion, such as, an expansive economy or an expansive mindset, a growth mindset. It also speaks of having the power to expand, grow, or spread. A man that's at a high energy frequency will always expand your thinking. He's not trying to shrink you. He's not trying to put you in a box. When you meet this guy and you tap into a man that has good energy, he's always expanding on everything you are. He's not coming in telling you, oh, that's too much, you're doing too much. No, he's coming in encouraging you even to do more, even as he helps you to accomplish more. Now watch this. If you go to 1 Kings chapter 10, verses 3 through 7, and I'm out of here because I've been talking long enough, and I think this mosquito's in here telling me, stop talking, buddy. Get off the camera, sir. 1 Kings chapter 10, verses 3 through 7, we see Sheba, the queen of Sheba, should I say. She had heard of Solomon, but she goes to meet him to verify if what she heard is true. And it says here in 1 Kings 10, 3 through 7, and Solomon told her all her questions. There was not anything hid from the king which he told her not. And when the queen of Sheba had seen all Solomon's wisdom, and the house that he had built, and the meat of his table, and the sitting of his servants, and the attendance of his ministers, and their apparel, and his cupbearers, and his ascent by which he went up unto the house of the Lord, there was no more spirit in her. And she said to the king, it was a true report that I heard in mine own land of thy acts and of thy wisdom. Howbeit, I believed not the words until I came and mine eyes had seen it. And behold, the half was not told me. Thy wisdom and prosperity exceedeth the fame which I heard. Now, I want you to notice the order of her priorities. She was first impressed with his wisdom, which speaks of his what? Energy. Then she mentions all of the stuff, things he had, and all of that kind of thing. But she was attracted to his energy. She didn't need what he had. She was a wealthy woman on her own. But his energy expanded her thinking. She says, man, the half has not been told. My Bible says there was no more spirit in her. My mind is blown. You have expanded my perspective on what is possible. You've expanded my worldview. When you get the right kind of man, notice now, she tapped into this by asking a lot of questions. The greatest way to feel for a man's energy is in conversation. And a man that can't answer your questions does not have the energy. He is not suitable for you, because queens ask questions that only kings can answer. And so queen conscious women value high energy men. I hope I didn't try to jam too much in here. I really did not get to everything that I have written down, but I thought this was important because the discussion today is about what a man earns, how tall a man is, but what about his energy? You can have the richest man in the world. If he has bad energy, he will turn a mansion into a prison. You can have the most handsome man in the world, but if he has bad energy, he'll be nothing but a warden. Queen conscious women value men with high energy. Father, I thank you for every person under the sound of my voice. And now, God, may my voice, my words, as I have spoken what you've given me to share, may my words become wisdom to them. May my words become wisdom to them. Those, dear God, that may disagree even with some of the things that I've said, God, let them think about it again. And if my words come from you, God, allow it to resonate with them, allow it to become wisdom, that they will make better choices, that they will know who they are, that they will know what they deserve and what they don't deserve. And I thank you for it. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, amen. I've enjoyed this time. Now listen, I need you to go to the website, rcblakes.com, sign up for the mailing list, check out the online programs, look into the description, and you can, if you need counseling, you can engage the link for BetterHelp Counseling. And if you conclude that will work for you, if you use that link, it will afford you 10% off of the cost, and they in turn will make a deposit into RC Blakes Ministries for the referral. Go to Amazon, pick up all of my books. Thank you for supporting Lisa and I in terms of buying our books and what have you. We love you so much. Thanks to all of you that have sown into our lives and always sow into our lives. We love you. We appreciate you. We don't take you lightly. Now listen, if you're watching this in its original airing, I want you to know that Queenology is returning 2023 this summer. Yes, August of 2023. I don't want to call the dates because I don't have them before me. Queenology is returning. We're calling it the crowning. Yeah, welcome to the coronation. It's going to be a weekend in New Orleans, Louisiana, and it's going to be held at the Ritz-Carlton. This is going to be an amazing amazing event. I mean, there are different levels you can get in, but we're going to have a brunch where, we're going to have a chance to I'm going to have a chance to have a session with you, maybe even Lisa, and we'll get a chance to share and eat together and all of that. But I mean, there's a whole experience for those of you that want to go that deep into it. But queenology, here's the message. Queenology is returning August 2023. And I'm excited. It's been years. I'm excited to welcome the ladies back into queenology, into our meetings. It's going to be a phenomenal time. The crowning, let the coronation, or welcome to the coronation. I want to say, let the coronation begin. It's going to be absolutely amazing, and I'm looking forward to it. You also want to make certain that you sign up for our mailing list, because 2024, Lisa and I are planning to bring a group of people to Egypt. We thought about it, said, well, we love traveling the world. Why not bring some people with us? That's what we were getting ready to do before the pandemic broke out. Well, hey, the world is open again. And I need you to be on my mailing list so that you can be up on everything that's happening, because very soon we'll be dropping all of the information about our Egypt trip in June of 2024. A lot of exciting things are happening. Thank you for being a part of our family. Let's bring it to the next level now. Hey, I'm done. Hey, you're on top. You're going higher. God has more in store for you. Until next time, I'm R.C. Blake saying to you, we will see you at the top. But before you go to the top, hit the like button. Hit the like button. The button. Thank you very much. I love y'all. See you at the top.
We here at RC Blake's Ministries want to thank you for spending this time with us today. RC and Lisa are always honored to have you with us. Don't forget to reach out to us by visiting our website at www.rcblakes.com. While you're there, you may join our mailing list and receive a free download of The Laws of Manifesting Your Vision by RC Blakes. Also look at all of the online programs by RC. You may find all books written by RC and Lisa. Once again, all of us here at RC Blake's Ministries want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And as we always say, see you at the top.